A story from Greece. The Bag of Winds. Odysseus was the king of a small Greek island called Ithaca. For 10 years he and his men had fought in a battle in a faraway land. Now victorious at last, they were sailing home on the 12 ships, eager to see their loved ones again. After a long voyage and many adventures, a strong breeze filled the sails and brought them to a strange island floating freely on the water. The island's name was Aeola. Above its steep cliffs stood a palace, surrounded by a high bronze wall. Odysseus and his men landed on the shore and made their way to the palace. There, they were greeted by King Aeolus, who was the guardian of the winds. King Aeolus invited Odysseus and his men to be guests for a while. To their delight, they discovered that the island of King Aeolus was a place of endless happiness. Every day there were banquets and dances at the palace, and the people lived without any troubles or cares. While his men rested and enjoyed themselves, Odysseus entertained the king with stories of his battle and adventures at sea. But the crew dearly missed their families, and after a month of rest, they were keen to continue their journey home. King Aeolus presented Odysseus with a parting gift. "To speed your voyage I give you all the winds, except the west wind," he said, and handed Odysseus a huge leather bag tied with a silver rope. "Keep them inside while you sail so you cannot hinder your journey. The west wind remains free, for that is the wind that will blow you home." Odysseus thanked the king and led his men back to their ships. As soon as they pulled up their anchors, the west wind filled their sails and blew them on a straight course towards Ithaca. Day and night Odysseus stayed awake on deck, keeping the bag of winds safe, close beside him. Before long, his crew became curious to know what was inside it. "Why does Odysseus keep that gift from the king to himself?" whispered one of the sailors. "We've always fought together and shared our treasure."
"It's a huge bag,"
said another.
"and look at all the silver rope around it. There must be a lot of gold and precious jewels inside. If only we could take something small home to our families."
They decided to watch for the chance to look inside. On the 10th day, the island of Ithaca appeared in the distance. With great excitement, Odysseus and his men watched the hills of their beloved homeland grow closer and closer. At last, Odysseus could stay awake no longer. With the happy thought that he would soon be reunited with his wife, he let himself sleep. As soon as his eyes were closed, the crew saw their chance. They pulled the bag away and untied the silver rope. Out rushed all the troublesome winds of the world. They whipped up the waves. They stirred up a storm and spun the 12 ships away from Ithaca, blowing them with a roaring gale back to the island of King Aeolus. With a heavy heart, Odysseus went to ask the king for help once more. The king was very surprised to see him. When he heard what had happened of the bag of winds, he frowned. "I won't help you again, Odysseus. The gods have shown they are not pleased with you. Begone, we don't want your bad luck here." Then King Aeolus kept all the winds imprisoned on his island, so that Odysseus's men had to pick up their oars and row. Many further adventures lay ahead of them, and it was 10 years before they saw Ithaca again.